This is a presentation on rejection-sensitive dysphoria, RSD, and emotional dysregulation, ED, done by Neuro Pride Ireland. The next slide shows in large lettering neurodivergencies in the centre, with an assortment of different words such as PTSD, bipolar, and epilepsy assorted throughout a colourful background. What is rejection-sensitive dysphoria? Rejection-sensitive dysphoria is characterised by an emotional and painful reaction to teasing, criticism, or rejection, whether real or perceived. It is predominantly identified in ADHD people, but other neurodivergent populations are beginning to talk about experiencing it too. It is an intense and extreme reaction that can often be unbearable to the sufferer. It can also be known as emotional dysregulation, ED for short, especially in Europe. As it is a relatively newly defined concept, there is little research, and RSD or ED are not included in the DSM-V, although ED is one of the 6 features used to diagnose in the EU. People can either respond angrily or very emotionally, but this can be short-lived as it seems to trigger people's flight or fight response. Now let's talk about the differences between RSD and mood disorders. With a mood disorder, mood changes are untriggered, out of the blue. Meanwhile, with RSD and ADHD, mood changes always have a very clear trigger. With mood disorders, moods are independent of what is going on in someone's life, while with RSD and ADHD, moods match the perception of the trigger. Mood disorders can make a mood shift gradually over weeks. Meanwhile, with RSD and ADHD, the mood shifts are instantaneous. Offsets of mood episodes is gradual over a period of weeks to months. This is what occurs with a mood disorder. Meanwhile, RSD, ADHD as well, the episodes end quickly in a matter of hours. The duration of an episode must be more than 2 weeks when it comes to a mood disorder. But with the conditions that we've been discussing, episodes rarely last more than a few hours. Graphic to the right of this slide has a black background with large rainbow letters at the top saying RSD is built up over time, with a series of text boxes saying things like "What is wrong with you?" "Toughen up," or "Why are you here?" RSD can be trauma response built from a lifetime of criticism. Experts estimate that ADHD children receive over 20,000 more negative comments than neurotypical peers. The next slide is titled "The Insidious Treadmill of RSD." It is a black background with the center having a treadmill and a cycle around it. The cycle has different sections worded like so. It starts off with a person with the experience of early relational trauma. The cycle then continues, and the words "become a people pleaser to counter the rejection" is on the next part. After that, compulsively helpful and always says yes, which leads then into burnout, which leads then into not being able to honor commitments, furthering on upwards to more rejection, and then we come full circle with the person with experience of early relational trauma. Signs of RSD are as follows: sudden emotional outbursts following real or perceived criticism or rejection, withdrawal from social situations, negative self-talk and thoughts of self-harm, avoidance of social settings in which one might fail or be criticized. For this reason, RSD is often hard to distinguish from social anxiety disorder. Low self-esteem and poor self-perception, constant harsh and negative self-talk that leads people to become their own worst enemy, rumination and preservation, relationship problems, especially feeling constantly attacked and responding defensively. RSD/ED can be exacerbated by other things such as alexithymia, which is an inability to name feelings, or poor interoception, making sense of internal signals, which also have a role in emotional regulation. There are videos on the channel that discuss these in greater detail. Below the slide is a list of sources leading to articles and videos to which more information can be discovered. Thank you very much for listening, everybody.